Well, I think that probably took a little longer than many of us thought or hoped that it would. Um, Went a little longer than we initially were told it was going to be, and, well, yeah, it's that was a long wait. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to World of Warcraft. However, we have now entered a new era, as it is now officially the pre-patch of the Shadowlands. And drastic changes have come about in the game. For one thing, I'm level 50 again. It's been a long time since this guy has been level 50. You'll also notice my item level is 128. Now, there's some I kind of want to go over some of the things that have happened or changed. Just kind of a look at some of these things. In case you're curious about it, I don't think I'll be able to answer everything. You, of course, can be able to look at all the pre-patch if you want to see some of the details, but sometimes just seeing how it looks in the game can be a little different. I've been seeing a lot of chat in general chat on the two servers I play. A lot of people are still trying to figure out what's going on and are still trying, I guess they don't really pay attention or look at the patch notes or anything. For one thing, hold on, yep, here it is. So you notice there, the grayed out text there? That was what used to be the corruption. It is gone. Yep. So it's now grayed out. It's no longer in effect. Yeah, corruption is finally gone. Yeah, I also was not too fond of it. However, our Azurite armor is still here, and the abilities and all that, it still is running. It's still functional. Also, our Heart of Azeroth is also still running and still functional. The stuff that we got from that, it's still going. And, I mean, until we get into the actual expansion, I doubt we're going to find any kind of neck piece or whatever that's going to be a higher item level or grant us more stuff than these things do until then. Also, it's still a 155 cloak, our legendary cloak. At least I got to 155. But the whole corruption resistance thing now is no longer a thing. The abilities are still here. I assume that means you can still do the visions, the horrific visions, if you want. It's one of those things where, this gives us time to kind of test that out and see how it works. Yeah, it's a little odd seeing some of this stuff, seeing this weapon I had here, which was 475, and now it's down to 130. It's gonna take a little getting used to, not just for me, but for plenty of other people here as well. You're gonna have to give me a moment, because I'm also, checking out the other classes. Some seem very similar to what they already were. I'll be honest with you guys, this may be the last time that you see my shaman here in a while. For those of you who perhaps don't know, I some time ago made the decision, partly based on what I was seeing about the class changes coming up, was that I'm going to have to look some stuff up to see what people are saying in terms of why they're thinking that enhancement is going to be good, because I'm looking at this and personally, I'm not sure I get it. They have made some changes to Enhancement Shaman that it feels like a number of my melee abilities have just been changed or taken away. Like, Flame Tongue is now an ability that actually imbues the weapon I have, with a buff. Same thing with Wind Fury weapon. These used to be abilities that I could be able, were melee abilities. I would hit my opponent and I could actually put a debuff on them. Like Flame Tongue, it was a melee attack and I put like a flame dot, a fire damage dot on them. Now it instead puts a buff up here. Yeah. Same thing with this one. Also, they have changed Lightning Shield, where now it's just for 30 minutes. And Wind Fury Totem is back. The famous Wind Fury Totem is back. Instant cast and it stays for 2 minutes, providing an extra attack. I'll tell you one thing. It's weird seeing Flame Shock and Frost Shock, as well as Healing Stream Totem and Chain Heal on an Enhancement Shaman. This is gonna take a little getting used to. Yeah. It was just, some people at first were saying they didn't like it. I know some other Shaman players that they weren't really sure they liked it, but also some other people are saying they really liked the changes. I don't know. It seems odd to me. Now, what's funny is I took a look at a couple of the other specs, both Resto and Elemental, and they seem fine. Like, they seem pretty, it didn't seem like any drastic changes happened. It seemed like it's, you're not going to need an entire, learning curve on how to learn the changes to those specs, I think. Again, I'm no expert. I'm no top player, so anything I'm saying about this, I'm sure, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. The point I'm making is that I'm more than likely not going to be playing my Shaman going forward as a main character going into Shadowlands. More than likely, based on what I've been looking at, and this just kind of helps reinforce my decision, I'm going to be switching over to one of my Death Knights as the quote-unquote main, though for me it's still hard to say what would be a main, considering, that there's still things we don't know. That there are still a number of things about the game and how our classes and specs are going to play that we're still unsure about. So to me, it feels too early to say what the main is going to be, but also what you say your main is can be a personal definition. When I say that my Death Knight is going to be my main in Shadowlands, what I mean is the first time I play through Shadowlands, I'm playing through as a Death Knight because of story and lore and quest reasons. We're going into the Shadowlands. We're going to be interacting with Bolvar. We're dealing with fallout from what happened to the Lich King and what's going on with Darian Mograine and the Death Knights. There's a lot of Death Knight stuff going on here in this expansion, to me. So to me, it makes sense story-wise to go through the first time as a Death Knight. And I say the first time because they made a point at BlizzCon of saying that we will go through a linear progression. In fact, I can even show you this now, because guess what? They have actually, if you go to Worlds, the Shadowlands is now here on the map. So now, you can see here as a preview. You can look at the map. By the way, the scaling or the old, you go to this zone at this level is back. It's not like how it was in Legion and BFA where you could choose which zone. At least not yet. From what I understand, the first time you go through these with your first character, you will follow a linear path, which is Bastion, Maldraxxus, Ardenweald, Revendreth, and I guess Oribos and the Maw. I don't know if the Maw is going to be the final zone. It's a zone we are going to be doing stuff in, but from what I understand, the idea is that Bastion, this linear path here, and then once we're done with Revendreth, we're basically setting ourselves up to go into the first raid. In fact, is that in here now? No, it is not. Okay, so in the PTR, they already add the Shadowlands here where you can actually look at the raids and the dungeons. Obviously, they have not done that yet. But the first raid is very much going to have to do with Revendreth. It's going to be dealing with it's going to be right here. Castle Nathria. This right here is the first raid of the expansion. So I think the idea is that since this is the last zone we're questing in, we will then go into the raid. Now, from what I understand, they said that once we are done questing the linear path where we end here, when we then do this in our alts, we get to choose which of these zones we want to quest in as we're leveling from 50 to 60. So if, let's say, as you're going through, you decide you enjoyed leveling or questing in Maldraxxus the most, you can just go straight to Maldraxxus and just do that. Or focus on that, or do that first, and then do some others if you want, or figure out some other way to level to 60 if you finish before you get there. So, the idea was that they were trying to see if they could make this a little bit more alt-friendly in that regard, where they want you to do that the first time to get an idea of what's going on, and then once your account acknowledges you've done it the first time, then you get more freedom in terms of your choice of how you want to level your alts, because they seem to be encouraging the idea of alts in this expansion. For one thing, they want to encourage you to level alts. I can already tell you this right now. Expect some content that I wasn't sure how long it was going to be until I could do it. That was going to involve lower level characters that I was leveling to get to a certain point where I could be able to show off some certain content involving that character. Now, because of a system that they have put in place here, I can go ahead and show this to you somewhat on this character. I can't access it because he's level 50. But when you get to level 10, and I will actually show the new starting zone at some point. It's a very cool starting zone. I really liked it because I tried it out in the PTR, really enjoyed it. Look who is here near the embassy. It's our favorite bronze dragon and time-traveling gnome, Chromie. She's looking at me like, what are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here. Your alts are supposed to be here. Look, Chromie, just... Hi, the situation in Icecrown needs you. Without your help, Azeroth's future is doomed. So that's her kind of teasing the idea that, hey, you need to go to Icecrown. Which I guess I can go see if that is actually up right now. In fact, I'm curious if I went there right now, if the sky would be broken. Now, that's a... yeah, that's part of the questing in Icecrown. I never went back and did this, and I'm kicking myself in the head for that, because I thought about coming back and actually finishing the questing here in Icecrown, and I haven't, and I just haven't found, made the time to do that, and I'm kind of upset myself for that. I'm not seeing... If it's faded like this, that means it's part of that zone, but if it's like, if it's bright yellow, that usually means it's like, hey, this is a current, level quest. Go check it out. But when you come here on a low-level alt to Chromie, she will then ask you, hey, which expansion would you like to level your character in? And you then are presented with the choice of Cataclysm, Burning Crusade, Wrath, Pandaria, Warlords, or Legion. So because of this, I will actually have the opportunity to make some videos to show you guys certain... content from Legion that I didn't show you guys before. Like, for example, I'll be able to show you certain artifact weapon quests of certain classes that I didn't show before. Because I can, have a character level 10, like, say for, or even higher than that. Like, say, for example, my level 22 gnome priest that I had made some time ago, and I checked today and she's now level 10. So I now can come here and have her go straight to Legion, and I can then show you guys the quests, the artifact weapons that the priests get. Or, if I want to show you guys some content from Miss Pandaria, I could do that. If I wanted to go back to Wrath and show you certain content from that, I could do that. There's a number of different ways for me, from the perspective of a content creator, that I can utilize this for. It's not going to be something for, just the regular player, not necessarily, unless there are some that just love leveling in certain expansions, or if you're someone who perhaps didn't get to experience playing through a certain expansion, this is a great opportunity for you to do that. If you were planning or thinking about making some other characters or alts, then you can just come, here once you go through the starting zone, and be able to do that with... come here to Chromie and be able to make that selection. Also, speaking of leveling, there is something that was a hot topic that I feel like I should address here and let you guys know what it is like. So, these are the heirlooms. A lot of people had a very negative reaction to the changes that they made to heirlooms. So for those who don't know, it used to be heirlooms would provide you a big XP boost as you were leveling characters. The thing is, they actually made a change to the game as a baseline that you are earning quite a bit more XP than you used to do back in the day. So the big XP boost that we had in these recent months, where it was like a 100% extra XP, like to everything we did. Well, from what I understand, I think it's 70% now, just baseline within the game. So they thought there was no need for it, so they removed the XP buff from the heirloom items. However, what they did instead was provide you with set bonuses that are still pretty strong. So for example, while providing certain stats, like agility, your stamina, haste, or something like that, you also get set bonuses. Like if you have 2 heirlooms, you get the rested XP that you consume. I say that because of the term it's specifically used here. You'll see there it says rested XP consumed is reduced by 30%. So you get to use that rested XP to level a little bit longer than usual because it's consumed less. I know that's kind of a strange way to put that, but the idea is that you get to keep your rest XP longer so you can use that to level a little bit faster, even longer than usual, because it's being used up slower. If you have 3 pieces, you increase your out-of-combat regen in the outdoors, normal dungeons, and battlegrounds. If you have 5 pieces, you gain a level. Gaining a level triggers Burst of Knowledge, which deals holy damage to nearby enemies and grants you 40% agility for 2 minutes. Defeating enemies extends this effect up to an additional 2 minutes. If you have 6 pieces, rested experience is reduced by an additional 30%. So I like this because, if you have had your alts sitting in rested areas for long periods of time and they have a ton of rested XP, well, you're going to be using a lot of that at a much slower, but you're still leveling faster. It's a strange way for me to try and put it into words, but the idea was that with these changes, you didn't need the extra XP on the heirlooms. So I like it. That's what I'm saying. Like, I tested it out in the PTR and it seemed completely fine to me. So I'm with it. So I'm thinking, okay, think about what other things to go over. By the way, you can still go back to the vendor in either Ironforge or Undercity, depending on your faction, to purchase and upgrade them if you want. What's interesting is they have a quest. The lady in Undercity, she has a quest where, hey, you can get a free heirloom upgrade piece if you do a random Draenor dungeon, a heroic dungeon, your first of each day. I'm like, huh? Like, for one thing, in the group finder, it's only BFA stuff. Only BFA dungeons. And I just find that kind of odd. It's like, why are we still... this stuff pretty much hasn't changed that much. Not really. So if you go to Adventure Guide, like at level 50 on your max level character, you're going to see it's like, hey, you can continue doing stuff. Like, I know some people, they are still doing just regular stuff they were doing before. You can do Battlegrounds. They're still doing Mythic Keystones. And part of that is because some people are testing how this works now with this level squish and scaling for everything. Not just us. Everything got scaled. And it's weird going to BFA or Legion content at level 10. It just feels weird. But what's cool about that is that you also get access to higher level stuff, even if you're a lower level character, like transmog stuff, for example. There were certain transmogs you could not use until you reached a certain level. Now, even a level 10 character can put on stuff that you get in BFA. It's odd, but it's cool. It gives you more freedom of choice to how you want to, say, transmog your character. Even if they're a low-level character, just because they're low-level doesn't mean they can't look cool, I love that. I think it's a really cool change. Okay, let's see. What else? Oh, this is also something I should point out. This is the ability, the spell book is a little different now. You'll notice that there's the general, and then there's the one just for your main class. because the idea is they've gone away from the specs being important to just the class being important. So now a lot of the stuff is in your class icon here, and then you also know some stuff has been either taken away or has been moved to here that you're going to have to obtain as you level from 50 to 60. And then you have the tab for your current spec, which will give you access to certain things that this spec doesn't necessarily have exclusive access to, but rather it tries to improve it or make it better. Like rank 2 for Wind Fury Totem, to grant party members an extra swing. Elemental. This is a new ability I found called Primal Strike. I thought this was going to be something for all shamans. Apparently not. Apparently it's just for Elemental and Resto. I don't understand. It's an instant weapon strike that causes physical damage. So why is that not available to enhancement shamans? Like, that's a melee attack, and yet the melee spec enhancement doesn't get access to it. It just seems weird. But anyways, those are just my confusing little gripes about the changes to enhancement. I don't know. So here's a fresh level 10 Nightborn Mage player that, would have made a new allied race. They usually start at level 8, and then they can just kind of come straight here. And so then at level 10, they can choose, from Chromie, which expansion that they want to go and level in. So, it's something that I'm actually going to be taking advantage of and trying to use to make extra content with certain weapon quests I've been planning to show, and this just provides me the opportunity to show it sooner. So I'm really racking my mind here on other things. There's various number of other changes that they made. In case you're curious, the event for the pre-launch has not happened yet. This is the first day of the pre-patch, and they're not really doing that content yet. It's going to be coming later. I'm mainly referring to the Scourge showing up and attacking the cities, kind of like at the beginning of Wrath. And this was something I did check out in the PTR. It's just not happening yet. This is the first day of the pre-patch, and they wanted to hold off on that. And it makes sense considering the amount of issues that people have been having just trying to log into the game today. I will say this, though. So as I was trying to get some characters in position to make some of those videos I was referring to, I did have my Nightborn Mage go into the Broken Shore event leading up to Legion, partly because it wouldn't let me skip for some reason. I think that might be a bug. What's funny is I have the skip option for Alliance characters, but not for Horde characters. But anyways, I don't mind because I love the Broken Shore event from Legion. So I queued up for it, and I got on the boat, and there was like 30 other players there. And that was just awesome, seeing that many players. It felt like we were back at the launch for Legion. And what was great was a number of players were saying, oh my gosh, look at how many players are here. And I was telling them, guys, this is what it was like when Legion launched. There was 40 Horde players here and 40 Alliance players over there. It was awesome. And it was just cool seeing some of their reactions. But that's the kind of stuff that's actually going on right now. People are trying out lower level content, testing it out. They're also getting on alts and trying out the whole go to Chromie and pick an expansion to level in. And it's just really cool seeing that kind of stuff going on. I'm really... it puts a smile on my face. Let's see. What do you guys say? Because there's really no quest prompting me to do this. Now, I'm curious. What does the board say? Is there anything the board's going to tell me here?
What do you need?
Now, okay, so... that's interesting. For lower level adventurers. Now, I believe if I wanted to, I could go straight to... I could go over there and talk to... Well, no, not this characters have already done all that, so it doesn't make sense. Let's now go see if the sky is... Oh, also, there's something I want to show in here. I found something in this room. Wait till you guys see this. Now, you'll notice... Now, this is interesting. Silver Moon Portal. This used to be the portal to... Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh, I'm blanking. What's the city in... No, not Akandun. Shatrath. Shatrath City. There's supposed to be a portal here to Shatrath City, and it's not here anymore. I don't know why. That's weird.
Speak, friend.
If you're looking to return to Outland, our allies amongst the Ethereals have opened a portal to Shatrath City in Terakar Forest. From there you will find easy travel to wherever you aim to go. Huh.
Go forth to victory.
And then there's the portal to Dalaran in Northrend, the portal to Pandaria, portal back to Zuldazar, portal to Azuna. And then there's this. Now, I have never seen this door before. I'm convinced this is going to be a doorway that we walk through to go back to the Shadowlands. Like, once we do the whole intro of going through there and the whole questline and everything, this is going to be a quick little portal to go back. I gotta say, this looks pretty cool. It's like it's not a portal, it's a doorway. Yeah, I don't know about you, but there's just something cool about seeing this, like ominous doorway here, just kind of waiting for us to open. Like, what's behind the mysterious door? Gosh, I feel like I'm back in Kingdom Hearts. We must open the door. The door. Remember how often they said the door in Kingdom Hearts? I guarantee you other players are going to this going, what the heck is that? So anyways, let's go to Northrend, shall we? Let's head on over to Icecrown. And let's take a look at whether or not the sky is still broken. By the way, in case you're wondering, yes, you are more than likely going to have issues with add-ons during this time period. Many of the add-ons are out to date. The authors are trying their best to update them as fast as they can, but you may have some issues and LUA errors trying to get them to work. Just a heads up. I have almost all of my add-ons turned off that I was using because of the amount of errors I was getting. So let's take a look. Is the sky broken in Icecrown? It is. Now, it's not animated like it was in the cinematic. Oh, let's see if we can go to the top. I mean, I know we can go to the top. We've been able to do before, but I'm wondering if anything is up there right now. Look at how many players are heading up there. I'm already seeing several players are heading up here. Also, I'm noticing... never mind. Well, this does look a little different. I don't recall it looking this way before. Huh. Now, just a heads up, we are going to be doing some stuff in this zone because I have been messing around with it in the PTR to get an idea. We are basically going to get directed towards the Argent Tournament grounds because, of course, the Argent Crusade is going to be here. Trying to deal with what's going on. It's going to be dealing with the Scourge are back and invading because, of course, there's no Lich King anymore to control them. So, yeah, we come here, and we're doing stuff in this zone. So we're going to be doing some stuff in this zone going forward. Now, as I said, I don't think I'm going to be doing it on this character. I think, after this, we're mainly going to be transitioning from my Shaman here to my Death Knight, as well as a few other characters I have planned, because they also said that each Covenant... that's a whole separate discussion, that each Covenant is going to have its own separate campaign, similar to the Order Halls from Legion. Now, I loved that content from Legion, so I'm planning on having at least one character join each Covenant, and ideally, depending on how it goes, my idea is that I want to record and do playthroughs of each of the Covenant campaigns in Shadowlands. if you're curious who I'm going to have join, what I've been basically having my decision set on was that my Death Knight was going to join Maldraxxus, my Druid was going to join Ardenweald, my Paladin was going to join Bastion, and I guess my Demon Hunter was going to join Revendreth. You know, those matchups just make sense to me. Even the Demon Hunter with the vampires, sort of. I guess because when he goes demon form, he looks kind of like a Revendreth vampire. You know, I'm kind of reaching there on the connection, but you guys get what I mean. I don't know. That's kind of the ideal of what I'm thinking of. Now, for the other classes, you know, I'm kind of like going, okay, maybe I'll have this class join this one. It's going to be partly for transmog reasons, you know, I'll be honest. But yeah, it's like the idea of what could I do for endgame content. To me, it's just still too early to say. Even though from what I've been seeing and hearing, Death Knight is going to be in a very good spot, both Blood and Unholy. What's funny is people were hyped about Frost Death Knight getting two-handers again, but some are saying the spec is not that good right now for this expansion. So we'll see, you know. But story-wise, to me, it just makes perfect sense to play through this expansion as a Death Knight. It makes all the sense in the world to me. And I'm really, really hoping that Blizz rewards that by having stuff that is exclusive to Death Knights. Like, I want... Oh. Hello. Yeah, lots of players are just going to be flying around, just checking out stuff. And of course, some players come here because they want to see the broken sky. Oh, it's a little animated in the back. You see that? There's a little bit of motion with the broken, you know. Now, there is no Torghast there. Are they doing the, how high can I go? I think they are. But yeah, there's no Torghast there. So, yeah. But that's just such a jarring visual, isn't it? My goodness. What have you done, Sylvanas? Like, there's a number of other changes that I could go over. In fact, hold on a second. I could just go ahead and try and show you. Oh, actually, hold on a second. There's one other change I want to show you guys. And we're going to go ahead and... we're just going to Dalaran for this. Because I know exactly where it is in Dalaran. And I'm curious if there's a line there, as there was earlier. Because earlier there was a massive line for this. In fact, I think doing this on my Shaman may not be the best thing to do. I think I may have to switch to my Druid for this. Let's go to the barbershop, everybody! So this has been a very popular location today. Why? Because of the amount of changes. In fact, you'll notice this is a change I made earlier on this character. Because orcs can be able to... One of their unique things they can have... You know, they can be able to change your skin color, your face, your hairstyle, your hair color, your beard, sideburns, eye colors. This is mainly for orcs. By the way, you can change your gender. No judgment, but the joke has been going around, you know, the fact that you can go to your barber to change your gender. Let's just say the jokes are going around like, oh my gosh, that is some barber. It's just a funny, you know, it's just a funny little, you know, it's a joke, funny little joke. I think it's funny, you know, it's such a common thing being said right now. So you can put some scars, you can put some grime on you, dirty yourself up, give yourself some earrings, nose rings, change up your tusks. You can put some tattoos on, some war paint, and, you know, of course, change your posture, as orcs can be able to do. And, you know, there's the changes here are, of course, mainly for races, depending on your races. For one thing, my Forsaken Warlock can now be able to have skin cover up her bones. I don't know how the barber is able to do that. There's a lot of things here that I'm wondering, how is the barber himself able to pull this stuff off? But apparently these are some very talented people here that work in the barber shops, I'm just saying. So let's real quick switch on over to my druid, and I'll show you guys something else that's really cool about that. Don't remember where I left my druid. Oh, yeah. Alright, so let's go back to Dalaran. Running Tauren. Alright, so the druid is one of the more unique things that you can do in the barbershop because you don't get to just mess with your race, you also get to mess with your druid forms. I'll show that in a second. For Tauren, you can be able to, of course, to just do the the usual things: skin color, face, horn style, horn color. You can be able to put some face paint. You can do change your headdress, a necklace. You can add a flower in your hair. That's cute. You can be able to put body paint on, just really play up that Tauren, race aspect. And then you can be able to, as a druid, change your forms. Now, what I love is you can see here, this is like the usual Tauren bear form here, but I can actually change the color of it if I want to stick with this one. And I think that's really cool. But then you get access to the various different appearances that you have unlocked if you have played through as in Legion. This is why I encourage everybody. If you have... By the way, this doesn't just apply to the forms in the barbershop. This actually applies now to the weapons if you're doing transmog, because they've actually changed how it works, where you can now say... If I wanted, I could put my Scythe of Elune, which is a balanced druid-only weapon, I could now put it on my Resto druid if I wanted to. Just because if I wanted to put a staff on. So it allows you even more customization, which is great. More choice, more option. But if you play through Legion, you have your forms and such, you can be able to select which one you want to use in here, rather than have to constantly go back to your order hall in order to change that. I'm going to be sticking with this one here, because this is the only Ursoc one I have, and after the Ardenweald one, I am going to be having my druid here use the Ursoc bear form in his honor from now on. You will never be forgotten, Ursoc. But you can change your cat form. You can even select the Druid of the Flame one from the Firelands. Now, I don't have the toy, but I have the seeds. I also had the staff. And I find it interesting that it's like, oh, look at this. I guess I don't need the toy anymore, because I can just go to the barbershop and select this one right here, because apparently I already have it unlocked even though I don't have the toy. I don't know how this works. It's possible it could be a bug. It's possible by, let's say, next week or in the next few days, they could figure this out, realize what's going on, find out it's a bug, and patch it and make it go away. I don't know. For now, I love the idea of that I have access to this. So if I wanted to do this, or I could be able to select any of these, I can do that. But, of course, I'm going to stick with Druid of the Flame because I love this. It looks so cool. I have been trying to farm that toy for quite some time in my Druid, and I'm just glad that it feels like I don't have to go there anymore to get that toy. Because now I can just go to the barbershop and do this. Thank you, Blizz. You removed one of those grinds off of my list. If it stays this way. Again, I don't know if this is intentional or not. You can be able to change your flight form. So if I want to go back to the regular hawk form for a Tauren, I could do that. You can be able to unlock other forms via glyphs. So, you know how there were multiple glyphs that you could be able to change what type of flight form or aquatic form you had? Now, those are one-time use, and you permanently unlock those, like account-wide. I love this, because now I have the Sentinel form unlocked for every one of my druids if I wanted to. Or you can select Lunar Wing form. I'm going to stick with Lunar Wing because I heard that you can actually use this to have players mount. So now I could use this form to actually carry friends around. Just, I like that idea. You could be able to go here and select Orca, if you've unlocked it, or just your other baseline one. And you can choose your travel form. Because I had the cheetah glyph, I could choose that, or I could just go back to the regular stag form. But I have a separate one for that, so I'm going to stick with cheetah. So, it's stuff like that that you can do that I just think is absolutely fantastic. What is that on my mini-map? Oh, that's the Titanic thing, so. So, that's within the game in the barber shop. Now, let me show what happens if you try to create a new character. This is the new character creation screen. This is awesome. They've added really cool things here to really show and give you an idea of what you would be doing. So let's say, for example, first I choose a human. I can switch back and forth here between male and female. And down here, you can look at, the classes. So if I select a warrior, it does this animation to give you an idea of what you could do as a warrior. You kind of, get to see how they look in this that's like class order hall stuff from Legion. I could be able to go here and immediately shows what a hunter can do. I could go to mage. Just shows him casting spells. It's just extra little animation stuff here to really help play up the, the fantasy of, what you'd be doing with this class. To really give players an idea of how cool they could look and what they're going to be doing. Plus it gives, descriptions and shows you what your roles are. It's just really cool stuff. I really like what they did here. So, and plus you can also go over here and also look at the allied races. Allied races no longer require rep. They've removed that. All you need are the achievements. Now, I have every allied race unlocked. So you can go here, and let's say if I wanted to make a... I go over here, Let's say I want to make a Maghar Hunter. So then you get access to the different customization stuff over here. Let's give you some actual eyes. There we go. I don't know, the other, that's almost just look like there's no, pupils there. But then again, Draenei had that. I don't know. Alright, and we'll just pick a random name. Okay. So now, you'll notice allied races, they start at level 10. So, yeah. You will, So it's going to show the opening cutscene of what it's like when you make an allied race. I'll pick a regular race just to give you an idea of the choice you get when you do that. Just let it load. I just wanted to show that. Okay, so I don't know how, but it for some reason enabled a large number of my add-ons I was not even using. And I don't understand why. So I'm going to be cutting that out because it was causing a huge interface issue. And that's why the loading screen took so long. So I'm actually going to show the, the option that comes up when you choose a regular race. Before I do that, though... Oh, there's also a couple other things I should probably point out as well when it comes to making a new character. But I'll say that when we get back to the selection screen. For now, I actually want to show you the choice, if I get any here, from Chromie. In fact, I can go to the adventure guide. Visit Chromie in Orgrimmar to choose a storyline for your next adventure. Adventurers wanted. Chromie's call. Chromie is seeking veteran adventurers to embark on expeditions through time and space. This is your opportunity to experience the legendary adventures of the past today. Speak with Chromie near the Orgrimmar Embassy for more information. So now I can go to Chromie.
Haven't we done this before?
Hey there! Wherever you want I go, I can help you get there. Time works in mysterious ways, but you don't look like a stranger to mystery. I'm glad you made it. Something tells me that your future is waiting for you in the past.
Is this hello?
Lol.
Goodbye.
Select a timeline. So here's the screen. Time-locking campaigns. Journey back to your favorite story and tackle challenges from the past that scale for characters level 10 to 50. So once you hit 50, then you go do the Shadowlands stuff. So, this is what I was talking about. You can choose Cataclysm. It shows the two main continents here. The people of the Eastern Kingdoms and Kalimdor fighting to survive after the events of the Cataclysm that occurred after Deathwing's reemergence. 8 Azeroth's many civilizations in the wake of the aftermath of the Shattering. So I haven't tested this out, but I believe you'll be able to choose between the zones in Eastern Kingdoms and Kalimdor that you would have been able to go through if you were like 1 through 60 in the BFA era. You know, how it was there. And not necessarily counting the or maybe it also would include some of the other zones that were like Cataclysm high level zones like Mount Hyjal, Old Doom, Vajir, you know, those zones. Portal to Outland. How many you out there love the Burning Crusade? The dark portal to Outland has opened once again, and heroes are needed to answer the call and step bravely onto the shattered world of the orcs. Conquer this ancient and dying world, and stop the Burning Legion from invading Azeroth. Or how many of you out there love Wrath of the Lich King? Fall of the Lich King. The frozen wastes of Northrend is where the Lich King, previously known as Arthas Menethil, resides, or just to clarify, the second Lich King, resides, sending his undead forces to destroy all life on Azeroth. Answer the Argent Crusade's call to disrupt Arthas' plans and put his undead scourge on ice. The wilds of Pandaria. Untouched by war for over 10,000 years, the Horde and Alliance are at war after the disappearance of the White Pawn. But a dark secret lives within the earth. The factions of Azeroth ignored the Pandorans' warnings that emotions manifest in dangerous ways in their mysterious land. Pierce the mists and explore the beauty of Pandaria. The Iron Horde. Garrosh Hellscream has opened the dark portal yet again, allowing the Iron Horde to pour forth from Draenor and march against our world. Establish your garrison and fight alongside the great orcs and Draenei of lore. Or the Legion Invasion. Powerful artifact weapons and a foothold to launch strategic strikes in the Broken Isles with your order will be required to stop the Burning Legion's invasion on Azeroth. Claim your weapon, or weapons, establish your order hall, and stop the demonic assault on our world. As I said, I highly recommend anyone who perhaps didn't get to experience Legion with certain classes to go do Legion and not only collect your artifact weapons as, you know, to get them as transmogs, but also to do the Class Order Hall campaigns, because I really enjoyed all of them. I even have a feat of strength for having done all of them. I just realized some of the interface stuff is still here. I don't know why I did that. Anyways, actually, no, this is just, yeah. Anyways. Yeah, plus I also really enjoyed the zones here. I really did enjoy. I'm mainly going to be choosing Legion. I know a lot of people, you know, I saw different comments. People were asking what zone you going to choose. People were saying they were going to choose Warlords because they did like leveling in Warlords. You can say what you want about the end game. A lot of people have spoken extremely positively about the questing and leveling in Warlords. I know a lot of people loved, you know, questing in Pandaria. A lot of people loved questing in Wrath. You know, a lot of people love questing in Burning Crusade. So you get to choose. You get your choice. If you loved going through a certain expansion, you get to choose which one you go through from level 10 to level 50. And I just think that's great. That is an option for every player. Except for brand new players who will go straight into BFA. But that's just, you know, they made their explanation that, you know, it had to do with current systems and all that BFA was the most current version. So they want players to be able to kind of get more used to the more current version, yada, yada, yada. Anyways.
It's so nice to see you.
Let me even go ahead and pull it up and show it to you guys. There it is. A legendary campaign. Complete 12 Class Order Hall campaigns. I have it right there to show off that I did it for every single class. So now, let's get out of this character. Also, let me Let me just disable everything. Oh my gosh, I don't know why it did that. It enabled add-ons I had disabled. I don't know why it did that. So anyways, let's now create a regular character here. Gonna choose female because I'll be honest, I'm not too fond of the males and the slouching like they're a hunchback. Let's choose a warlock. So first off, ew. No, yeah. Let's make her actually look a little pretty. There we go. Not too fond of the, missing jaw or, oh gosh, let me show you guys something that I thought was, look at this. You know how you can have eyes. Sockets. You could just have empty eye sockets. Oh my gosh, that is terrifying. Ugh. I'm sorry, that looks horrible. Alright, so now here you go. Here you get to make a choice. Now, it is worth noting that I'm like 99% sure players with brand new accounts will be forced to go to this new starting zone, the Exile's Reach. If you are a veteran player, you get to choose. And I told people, it's like, hey, guess what? If you make a new character, you can choose to check out this new starting zone. People are like, oh, really? And so they went and made a new character to check it out. I haven't heard back from them on what they thought of it, but I've gone through this, this starting zone on both factions, and I like it. Also, there's a cool little bit where, depending on what class you are, you actually get to do a quest to, which is kind of a cool lore type of thing, to unlock a class-specific ability, which is pretty cool. I'm probably thinking about showing this at least twice, once on the Horde and once on the Alliance. But here, as because I made a Forsaken, I can either go to Death Knell or I can go to Exile's Reach. I'm gonna just choose Death Knell, just show that you can still do this. And oh gosh, I forgot to check the add-ons. No! If it enabled add-ons after I disabled every add-on, I'm gonna be upset. Okay, so again, it did that. So I'm going to assume there's a bug right now where if you make a new character, but even if it's on the same server that you regularly use, that it just enables various different add-ons that you did not choose to have enabled. I don't know why it did that. But yeah, so, alright, so... Huh. It seems like they made changes to the nameplates. That must be a baseline thing they did. I'm not opposed to that at all, though. I think that actually looks pretty good. I mean, of course, you can always be able to, boop, turn it off if you want. But, of course, I have it turned on, so... So, yeah, you can be able to just go straight to any of those. Just regular starting zones. If you still love to go through these starting zones, it looks like the starting zone experience is still the same from 1 through 10. You can still come to your favorite starting zone with these races and not do the brand new one if you don't want to. It's up to you. If you still love these starting zones, or if you like the new one, that's up to you. So, anyways. Don't know why it does that, but whatever. Trying to think of anything else I could show. Alright, we're gonna of course delete this character. Huh. I guess I don't have that one transmogged. Anyways, so yeah, this is effectively going to be the end of our run with my shaman here as my main guy. Which is a little sad for me because, well, if you have seen my original World of Warcraft playthrough, you guys saw that he was basically the character I was having my first leveling experience with. And he's been my main basically ever since. Like, during the time, I think I started that playthrough sometime during Legion. So, But that wasn't when I first created that character. I think I first created this guy back sometime during Pandaria, but then I basically stopped playing WoW, and I checked it out again once during Warlords, and then I stopped again, and then I came back for Legion when I found out about the weapons. When I found out I could get this, the Doomhammer, I was so motivated to level this guy to Legion. I was so motivated. But I think this is effectively the end, because I just don't know if I like the changes they have made to Enhancement Shaman. I may end up liking the changes to Elemental. I'm going to mess around because I have a couple of other Shamans. My Volpera is a Shaman, and you'll see, even though she's level 25, she was like at level 62 last night when BFA was live, and now she's level 25, and she can put on the set that I have on from Legion, from Mythic Nighthold. By the way, I thought this matched up really well, this set, along with this secret appearance for the Fist of Ra Den. I just think that matches perfectly. And I think she looks awesome. I don't care what people say about Volpera, all the Volpera haters, all that, I think Volpera are awesome, and I think my Volpera, she looks awesome now. And I'm strictly playing her as Elemental. I was mainly going to use her to really get more familiar with the Elemental spec and try and be more familiar with it. And personally, in fact, I'll just go here just to take a look at and show you. I actually think, at the moment, based on what I'm looking at right now, Elemental seems to actually may end up being in a better spot right now. I have her right here in front of Chromie because I was going to entertain where to take her in terms of which expansion to continue leveling her at. But when I look at Elemental right now, I mean, I see Primal Strike here. I see, of course, the shock abilities. I can, I see Elemental Blast. I still have some stuff to, obviously some other abilities and such to level to 50 in order to gain. But it feels like the abilities here actually feel more familiar with Elemental than they do with Enhancement. Because I may have my one melee in case I get close, but of course the main idea is to keep using your ranged abilities like Lava Burst and of course your lightning abilities, Elemental Blast. I can still be able to use Flame Tongue Weapon to imbue my weapon, but it just feels like maybe Elemental may end up being in a better spot. I could be wrong. I could be entirely wrong. Maybe I'm just not seeing it. Maybe I'm misunderstanding it. This is interesting. Thunderstorm got moved to, to 49. I already had Thunderstorm last night, and it got bumped up. Interesting. Same with Earthquake. Huh. Interesting. Anyways. So, yeah. This is the guy I'm planning on actually being the main. We go forward. And yes, I did change his name. I wasn't too fond, the name I had before I wasn't too fond of, so I went ahead and got a name change, Nixuzad. I thought it just kind of sounded a little better. And I'm not ashamed of the fact that this is a set. This set looks amazing, and this secret appearance I got, or extra appearance I got for the Maw of the Damned, I think looks awesome along with this set. I think it looks great. This is more than likely what you're going to be seeing a lot of, this set with this, until we get some other cool looking stuff I've seen for Shadowlands. But more than likely, this is going to be the guy that I will be making my main going forward into Shadowlands. And from what I initially saw, when they reset all the talents and everything, it seemed like Blood was in basically the same spot it was before. At least that's how it seemed in terms of talents and abilities that I was using. Like, my build for Blood was essentially the same, except for this one tier here. I don't know if maybe Blood Tap would be better than Foul Bulwark. I don't know. Obviously, I'll have to test it out and find out. But, I'm still able to get Blood Worms, Red Thirst, Blood Drinker, Consumption, it just seemed like Blood is still in a really good spot initially based on what I'm looking at here. It is funny, though, getting to, seeing certain abilities here that I didn't have before, such as Death Coil, Rune Tap, and Raise Dead. Now, in case you're curious, right now, Raise Dead for Blood Death Knight, it lasts for only 1 minute. It even says here on the tooltip, you raise a ghoul, but it only lasts for 1 minute. Now, I think that you can actually upgrade this to where it'll last longer. as you level. But then again, I think actually that may end up being just specifically for Unholy. So in fact, let's go ahead and switch to Unholy. I think I haven't even selected the yeah. Gotta repick my talents. Oh, here's one of the, so they've moved some PvP talents over to the baseline for the class. So I believe Lichborn, that is now here. So is Anti-Magic Zone. I believe this was a PvP. Yeah, I know this was a PvP ability because I went against this numerous times when I was doing PvP season in BFA on my Demon Hunter, and I dealt with a number of Unholy Death Knights, and Anti-Magic Zone was a constant thing I dealt with. But that's cool that it's now just kind of baseline here. So let's take a look here then. Nothing missing here. Apocalypse to get 58. Dark Transformation upgrade. Epidemic causes each of your plagues to flare up, dealing shadow damage to infect the enemy. Additional shadow damage. Interesting. I'm just kind of putting these here on the bar, and I'll work on that later. So don't freak out about where I'm positioning these things. I'm just kind of doing it for the moment. I have always liked Unholy Blight, so I'll pick that, but I'll take a look at the others. All will serve, so I can also get my Skeletal Archer minion. I like Asphyxiate, because I like getting a 4-second stun. I like Soul Reaper. Was I using Wraithwalk? Anti-Magic Shell absorbs more magic damage and lasts 5 seconds longer. I like that, actually. I did like Defile. Has a chance to apply... Nah, I'm going to go with Defile. And then Summon Gargoyle. Though I believe for this guy, I was actually using the change where instead of it being a Gargoyle, it's actually a Valkyr. So... yeah, so you can see for rank 2, for Raised Dead, for Unholy, it's just a permanent companion. So... oh, this also gives you an opportunity to show you guys what I was talking about earlier in terms of transmogs. So for my weapon, you'll notice I have Legion artifacts. However, if I go to two-handed swords, it's now there. So they've basically moved the artifact weapons to their respective weapon categories. So now you don't have to go to Legion artifacts here in order to select it. You can just go to this and be able to just kind of like pick whichever one you want. Now, of course, if you were a Fury Warrior, you could just select, a two-handed weapon here and another one here. Same with the... it always bugged me that I couldn't change the shield on some of those Legion artifact weapons that have the shield. I can only pick the sword. I couldn't customize the shield. It bugged the heck out of me. Now I can finally do that. I can actually select the shield and not have to, be limited to either picking the sword and sticking with whatever the shield was. So yeah, I think I just think that's a really nice change. The fact that I can also be able to, if I want to, I could wield the Maw of the Damned on an Unholy Death Knight. I just think that's really cool that actually now I could pick that if I wanted to. Let's, I cannot, yeah, I can't, of course, pick the one-handed, because, Unholy and Blood can't wield one-handed weapons. But, in fact, let's go ahead and take a look at the spec that everybody's been speculating on. Gosh, I missed my bag add-on. Okay. But you'll see here, I can wield a two-hander as a Frost. Yay! That's my Kermit the Frog. Yay! So, I will mess with the talents later. But you can even see here... let's go ahead and go here.
Crunches, lucky doos and root.
So let's now go ahead and...
may your feet find...
so yeah, you can be able to wield a two-handed weapon. So if I want to do this...
farewell,
boom,
friend of the
there we go.
Grummles.
No issues or problems at all. You can just go back and forth between a two-handed and a one-handed as a Frosty K. You wanted it, you got it. So, Yeah, this will more than likely be the guy that I will be making Shadowlands content, trying to show the main questing and story content. So, sorry if this video was a little long for you guys. I was trying to show as much of the stuff and changes as I could think of or remember off the top of my head. Because there's quite a bit to kind of reel in here and really process. When it comes to all, I can just tell there's a lot of changes that have been made here to the game as a whole. And I think the fact that we don't have a release date for when Shadowlands comes out, but yet we now have the pre-patch, I think this is good because, for one thing, people got what they wanted. BFA has now been moved out of the way, and it's now officially, we are in the Shadowlands era of World of Warcraft. The corruption gear is gone, and we have now been scaled down, but so has a number of other things. Plus, now people can just go straight to certain expansions to do certain things. People are getting to do things they didn't get to do before. I think this is a really nice time. We just got to make sure that there is a bit more stability going on in the game these days when it comes to things like the servers. We also got to make sure that we give the people who are doing the add-ons, the authors, give them some slack. Give them some leeway. I'm sure they are working their tails off trying to get these as up-to-date and as functional for the current new version of the game as possible, okay? Just bear with it. If you have to play without your add-ons just to avoid all these errors like I've been dealing with, so be it. Just be patient, okay? It will pay off in the long run. Hopefully by the time the actual expansion launches, everything will be all good to go in terms of add-ons and stability, and we'll be able to enjoy a fun launch experience. Hopefully that will be the same for me. Have no idea because, of course, we don't know when it's coming out. 2, I don't know I don't know what my work schedule is going to be like around that time. So for all I know, the day it launches, I could be working a full day at work. So, and I could be in the coming days as it releases. So I honestly don't know, when I'll be able to get that content up as soon as I can. Just be patient. In the meantime, while we wait, for me as a content creator, as I mentioned, this is great because, as I was saying, there's a number of things I was wanting to work on and show. Come on. Don't. Ooh, the lag. There we go. You can see they're already planning on doing some more maintenance tomorrow morning. So in the meantime, I will be able to have the opportunity to say, go here, and I'm going to show the Arcane Mage artifact weapon questline to get Aluneth here on my Nightborn that I have been leveling only as an Arcane Mage. Here my Maghar, I will be able to show you guys the Arms Warrior questline, to get the Stromkar, the Arms Warrior weapon. Not to mention, this also gives me the opportunity to show you guys the intros for these order halls. So I'll be able to show you how the Mage order hall stuff starts. I'll be able to show you how the Warrior order hall starts, and I'll be able to rant about that and how much I can't stand it. Especially Odin. I hate Odin. Don't really need to do that with my Zandalar Druid here. I did a whole playthrough of the Druid stuff. I could do some of the Druid stuff on my more current machine, but I'd just be basically showing you guys the same thing. I don't think I can show you guys anything different. Same with my Volpera here, since I showed you guys all that Shaman stuff before. Same with the Death Knight stuff here. However, with some of my Alliance characters, I have a lot more Alliance characters I haven't leveled yet, as you can see. On this guy, I'll show you the Fury Warrior artifact weapons quest in Legion. I will have my Frost Mage here do the Frost Mage artifact weapon quest for that. I'm gonna try and show you guys some of the monk stuff from Legion with my Pandaren monk here, who I've been leveling strictly as a Mistweaver. And this is my Resto Druid that I've been doing strictly as a Resto Druid. Let's see. My Warlock. I've been really looking forward to trying to get this character leveled because I want to show you guys the Warlock Order Hall stuff because I loved it. I love the Warlock Order Hall, and the campaign itself is it's not that great. It was interesting, but I just love how the whole thing starts, and I love the quest to get the the demonology weapon, as well as the Destro weapon. I'm not gonna show Affliction because that's the Karazhan one I think I've shown before, but the other two I do want to show. And then here is my gnome priest. I'm thinking of showing you guys the priest stuff, as well as the ones for Holy and Shadow. I especially want to show Shadow because Zalatath. And then here's my rogue. I will show you guys the rogue order hall stuff along with the quest to get the artifact weapons for the rogue. And then here is my marksman hunter. I will show you the marksman one, and I may even use her to show the other two ones, even though I'm not that fond of survival, and Beastmaster gets the job done. I've actually been wanting to strictly stick with her as marksman. I don't understand why she looks like that, because I know I changed her transmog already, so I don't know why she looks like that. Hold on a second, is this another bug? Blizz, is this another bug? Because I know I already changed her transmog. Okay, there we go. So for some reason it wasn't showing. Alright. Oh, hold on a second. I thought I had changed the belt.
Francis, lucky doos
I
and
guess not. Hold on. There we go. I almost have this entire set. I think the set looks great on a night.
good fortune to all friends.
I'm only missing a couple pieces. It's from Mythic Nighthold. That is the bow from Illidan in the Black Temple. So I'm going to be using her to show you guys some of the hunter stuff, even though I think the hunter stuff isn't that great, but I think some of the weapon stuff is actually pretty cool. So yeah, there we go. Now it's actually fixed. So you guys can see what I'm kind of thinking here in terms of extra content to show you guys. So that is essentially it for the content that I was thinking about when it comes to the Shadowlands pre-patch era before the actual expansion launches. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this extremely long look at the first day of pre-patch. I will of course be trying to cover as much of the actual content that comes out as it comes along. I'm going to try and figure out and show how to the Scourge Invasion event. I want to show that how that works. I want to participate in that, be a member of the Scourge Brains, all that stuff. And of course, the quest line that's going to be going on during that, where we're trying to figure out what's going on. We find out about what's going on in Ice Crown. We find out about a familiar face who has shown up in the Eastern Plaguelands that we have to go meet, and all in preparation for when the expansion launches. So I will be trying to cover that however I can, as much as I can. We'll see how my schedule goes and dictates. We'll see what else is going on in my real life that affects that. I will try and do what I can, guys. I hope you stick around and enjoy. Spread the word if you want others to check this out. I would appreciate that if you guys think that my content is entertaining, that you think other people should check it out. It means a lot to me, if you think that. If there are any, criticisms, legit criticism that you guys have of some things I said, or, questions or stuff like that, I'm open to discussing that, let's just be civil about it. That's all I ask. And I will see you guys next time.